everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. My name is Marva B. I am the host of the Black Link Experience. I'm the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and I'm so excited to be here today with Miss Lynette. So, Lynette, I'm going to allow you, first of all, welcome. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And I'm going to allow you to go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Lynnette LaRoche, and I am a holistic corporate transition strategist. And so, what I do is I empower women in corporate, especially those of us who are in our 50s and older, to take back control of their life and become the playwright of their life and flip the script and now plan for the second act of their life. So, no longer falling into prescribed roles of what we should be. So I'm here to help them walk that journey, to help them to determine their passions and find a way to make a profitable business out of things that they've dreamed about, maybe probably since they were a child or a teenager, or even as an adult. They had this dream of being able to fly on their own, but they just been so fearful. So I'm here for them on every level, not just the technical, but I also support them on their holistic journey. So anything to deal with wellness, financial, I incorporate the four elements in terms of what it means to us on this journey. So I'm here to help them plan that transition, and thereafter, I continue to be a support.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I had to have you here. I was telling my assistant, I have to have her because I actually am a part of women empowerment, like all the way around, and their families, right? And so we do something called Rise Queen. I'm the founder of Rise Queen, which is a women's
Oh,
conference, and we have about over 100 women in there. And just,
oh, I would
it's
love,
just
I'd love to
amazing.
know more
And
about that.
yes, and yes, I will share. And so it's just, I think it's necessary. Women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and we can fall into, some ruts. And so we have
Mhm.
to have people like you, Lynette, to come to talk to help us get through those things. Let me ask you, I, supported employee assistance program, which is, counseling, kind of counseling session to help families through. And find it when, as I was talking to some of the counselors, they say it's easy for me to counsel someone than to use what I give them for myself. What do you do for yourself in times when you get in a rut?
Oh, well, I understand where you're going. I have to take my own advice, and this is I have a coach myself, and so I was talking to my coach. Is that I have to take the same advice that I give to either my employees or women that I work with. And that's really to give myself grace. And I totally sometimes I have to meditate in the middle of the day.
Yes. Yeah.
And then one of the other things is that I stopped like singing and dancing all the time. And and when I'm in my car and I'm just like, wow, I've lost a part of myself. So you got to find those things that have brought you joy. And then when you find yourself in a rut, you have to remind yourself that this too shall pass. And that quote is just there all the time. And what we tend to do is beat ourselves up when we find things are not working out the way that it should. But sometimes it's just either a test of our resilience, of our commitment to what we set out to do in our lives. And so it's about sitting down, journaling through those particular issues that you come across and find out where the root cause of those feeling, either the feelings of overwhelm or the feelings that, oh, you're in a rut, you can't get out of it. What do you need to do that's different?
Right.
What are you doing now? And what do you need to do to shift to get out of that stuck position of wherever you are? So I have to remind myself of that all the time as well. So just because I might be out there helping women, coaching them through this, I have to remind myself too, because, sometimes I feel like, okay, well, I shouldn't have to be, falling into these places, but it happens to all of us. No matter what level you achieve,
Yes.
there's always going to be a case where you're going to get into some ruts.
Yes, it's true. And so I like that because I'm kind of like whenever we do these women empowerment conferences and I get up and I speak, it's all about, self-care, self-love, we
Mhm,
take care of everybody else, but we have to take care of ourselves. And sometimes I have
mhm,
to remind myself too, that just because I'm up here standing up here saying it, I have I have some issues along the way as well. And so we have to appreciate you and people like you in your position for, being willing to help. It's all about
mhm.
conversation. What do you say to people that say, oh, counseling's for crazy people? I'm not crazy. I'm just going through something. How do you address that?
So maybe then we just need to reset on what we think counseling is. So, like when you call up your girlfriends and you just want to talk, and even if you want to vent, and then that girlfriend, if they really know you, and if they're really being completely like truly your friend, they're going to call you on the mat when you're like going the wrong direction, or you're just like in the woo 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 and like, oh, nothing can. A true girlfriend is going to say, okay, Samantha, like, look, I understand where you're going, but let's just get back to the real.
Right.
This is where you may have not seen where you were like derailing. So think of counseling as a way you're just talking to your girlfriends. It's someone that you can talk honestly with, and they're going to give you straight up feedback that that you may need to hear. So counseling is don't think of it as, oh, like it's bad, because and that's where it's coming from, like, oh, do I have a mental health problem, or um you know why do I have to go to someone and pay them to fix me? And it's not about fixing it. It's about finding solutions
Yeah.
to whatever your concern is.
Yeah, I think, what do you say to this? I think that, so life is not always going to be a bed of roses, and you can go to counseling and they'll, give you the tools and mechanisms, but there's always going to be something else. You keep living, there's going to be something else. So it's not like we're going to fix the world. But in the event when things happen, I'm here for you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what was it that made you want to get into this field? Was it something that triggered you, or were you going through something, or you just through your lenses saw there's a need for this?
I think all of that. I've been doing it as part of my job for like decades. And I was basically developing people out of the company. I was helping them up level their career. And especially for like the younger ones, I'm like, don't sit and get comfortable. And especially if you have a family at home, a young family at home, you got to keep not only growing your leadership, you got to keep growing your income. And so that's where it sort of started, was okay, so like these are the kind of things that you need to develop, these kind of skills you need to develop, this is the kind of experience you need to get so that you can get this next role. And so that's how I sort of started. But then I started working with people who had performance issues, and I'm just very empowering for my teams, because I'm not in there to figure it out for them. I'm
Right.
going to give them the tools to help them figure it out. So, but then in terms of myself, it was more like, okay, I sort of rose quickly in my career, but then I got to this last company, and I'm like, okay, there's a disturbance in the force. And then I was finding myself not growing anymore.
Right.
And then I started looking for other jobs.
Mhm.
And any other time, if I wanted a job, I would get it. But then, like, things were not working out. And I was just, okay, well, I kept trying to force myself to stay in this particular role and not seeing the greater purpose for me. And so when I just sort of sat back and like, okay, I asked and I prayed, like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
And I know I was supposed to be continuing to help people, to continue to coach, mentor, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, well, here it is. Women in their midlives, we still have a whole lot to give. How am I going to be able to, one, serve myself and get myself into the next act of my life? But what about all these other women who are in the same place? And I wanted to focus on women is because, again, as I mentioned earlier, when we're in our 50s and you're approaching 60 and like you're really not ready to retire, not just because the funds, but you still have so much goodness to give, but you don't want to stay on this little crooked path that you're on that someone else prescribed for you. But you just need someone to help give you those wings and to help like show you like the cliff and saying that you're not going to fall, you're going to fly. It might be a little rocky, but those wings are going to work. And so that's what it was. It was like I was seeing what I was doing for others. And then I had to see, God, like maybe the path that I'm on is not meant for me for the rest of my career. And so I was helping myself the way I'm helping the women that I work with.
So often we are in a position, just say in your corporate world or on your job, that we are not happy with. And a lot of our issues, I think, is because we're not happy. We got to go to a job or go work somewhere where we're not happy. And that takes a toll on us. But we're afraid to step outside the box and say, you know what, I choose my happiness. There's a lot more to me than just this. What do you tell women about that?
Well, exactly. And so again, we're looking for safety. We think that there's safety in a corporate job in some company. Look how many people lost their jobs during COVID. And so we have this perceived sense of safety with corporate. And then we look at all of these benefits that we're getting.
Yes.
But at the same time, you know that all those benefits you have are not something that's going to carry into your retirement.
Right.
And so we just, it's really a fear. And sometimes it's not even just fear of leaving behind what we call a safe job. It's the fear that we don't believe in ourselves that we can do this.
Wow. Because you don't look at it like that, right?
Yeah.
It is a fear, right? But we're looking at the, just what's right in front of us. And it's that we're not digging deep within ourselves. It's just right in front of us that if I leave this place, what am I going to do? My check that I'm used to every 2 weeks, my benefits, like you said, definitely benefits. Everybody has to have benefits. It's a lot to consider, but what if you get laid off? You're not going to have it anyway. So what can we do to find what's deep inside of us and step into what God created us to be? Like we all have talents. I believe that.
Exactly. And so, and I just want to address the part about, we're going to a job and a lot of us are really great at what we do, but it's not feeding our souls.
Whew.
And so that's where we got to start asking ourselves those questions.
Yeah.
What is it that we really enjoy doing? What is something that lights our fire? What is something that we would be willing to do for free? And then the other one is if there was no possibility of failure, what would you be doing in your life? That's a big question. Just that one, just sitting and marinating and journaling on that question alone will start.
It's kind of eye-opening for me right now because you think, what is it that I can do that I'm going to be happy that I don't care if I get paid for it or not. I'm going to do my best.
But you want to get paid for it.
I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy doing it, right? You don't think about that. I think we get so comfortable in our day-to-day
Mhm.
I get up, I go to work, I go take care of the kids, come home, cook, do it all over again. It's this routine. It's this routine. And I speak about that when I speak. We need to step outside of the box and
Exactly.
really find who we are, dig inside and really see who we are. You'd be surprised.
Mhm.
And, you
And
know,
yeah, and that's the thing, sorry, is that, all the successful people, they still talk about fears that they have.
oh,
Every time you get more and more advanced into whatever you want to do, new fears are going to appear. You got to be able to kick open the door of fear and just say, like, I'm going to put on my granny panties and I'm just going to walk through there, even though I'm scared. But it takes courage. People, like, they talk about, oh, you have to be confident. You have to be courageous before you can build that confidence.
that's right.
And so kick that door of fear open, because it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Like they said, like, brush your shoulders off. That
That's it.
fear is sitting on your shoulder.
Face your fears. Whatever it is, and you would be surprised about how much power you have over that thing.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh wow, that I like that.
You can't allow that fear to dictate your destiny. So if it's
Mhm.
that, it's an obstacle. So you break through those barriers some kind of way. Yeah.
Mhm.
I could go on and on. I love it. And it's not just women, it's men too. And that's why I say I support women and their families, because
Mhm.
they,
Mhm. Mhm.
men have it too. I'm going to be interviewing an ex NFL player who has dealt with mental issues and
Mhm.
molestation as a child. Men don't talk about that.
Right, that's true.
They're not willing to just let that out. And so then you have the woman, and then that could possibly cause confusion and problems because
Mhm.
he's walking around with something, not
Mm.
sharing and getting it out and talking about it. And then there's issues there too. So again, we as women, we just carry the weight of our husbands, our children, our family, our
Mhm.
work, our everything. And
That's
we
true.
have to remember self-care. So what are you telling women, before we get out of here? What can you leave with someone that's sitting right today, that's going to watch this, right? And is
Mhm.
in a place of darkness. Like, I
And
don't don't know. I just don't know. I'm in a dark place. What are you telling them? They came and said, Lynette, I need help now. Like I can't, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's going on. I'm in a dark place.
mhm. So if I came across someone who came to me and, even if they can't really even put a feeling on it, I'm going to dig through and just trying to find out, like, some of the presenting emotions behind this dark place. And then hopefully we're going to be able to dismantle and get to where the root cause is. And so when you mention self-care,
Mm,
we can't take care of anyone else unless we're taking care of ourselves. So that means our mind and the body.
yes.
And so that is ultimately the priority. And so if you're finding yourself in a dark space, some of that is going to come from, like, there's something that you're probably rejecting in yourself, something that you're not even allowing yourself to be seen or who you truly are. So you might be hiding or hurt, shielding someone else with your own body, and you're taking in that darkness. And so there's multiple reasons for it, but a lot of times it's sometimes coming from our own self-love, our own self-acceptance, our own self-denial. And then only until we can face those things and start embracing our own self-care, which again, like, I go back to, like, mindset and mental, because mindset is not just mindset is more, it's not exactly mental health.
Oh,
So you're going to have to put both of those together. So what is it in that mental space that's causing you to have that darkness? And sometimes it's and a lot of it's so many things that go back into our childhood. And
woo,
so, like, for me, the
Lynette.
safe job was around, my dad used to always they used to always say, learn a skill so you get a job. And so, yeah, making multi six figures is one thing, and being good at what you're doing is another. But finding something that feeds your soul, not many of us were being told that, especially in the Black families when we were that young.
No.
Growing up in the 60s, we were not really told like, go after your dreams, go after like whatever's going to make you happy. It was like all about being safe and being responsible. And it doesn't mean that you're not being responsible being a business owner, because you could be called to serve a greater need as a business owner. And then that could still be something that's going to fuel your soul, is going to fuel your passions, and then you're going to be serving people at the same time. Yeah. So if you're in a dark space, it's all about being able to talk to someone that's going to help call that out of you. And so that's going to land right there.
Yeah. And, I feel like also, maybe you can help me out. Maybe you talked about childhood. Issues in childhood that never get addressed. One, especially the Black culture, whatever's going on, suck it up. Like we can't be letting people know what's going on. Suck that up. Let's move on. I don't want to hear that. Right. And if you never address an issue, it's going to carry over into your adulthood. You're never going to be, you're not going to quite ever be leveled until you fix problems. When you see a problem, you got to address it and fix it so that you can move on, because you're just going to drag that. Here's an example. I know a lady that just had issue, wanted to pack up and move away. You're going to pack all that mess up, your clothes, everything, and all that baggage in your mind and that you carry, it's going everywhere you go until you fix it. Let's talk about that really quick.
Oh, yeah. and I move around a lot, just so that you know, but I was following the money. and so exactly, it's just as you said, those bags, in fact, they're going to get heavier, because each time that you move to a different place and you have to unpack that stuff, and then you're still marinating in it. And so now the new environment that you are in is bringing a whole new story that you got to fill in another suitcase. So now you add in some more baggage to the baggage you already had. And so now you need movers. You need to call in the movers to help you move that baggage to the next place. So you need to sit there, unpack it, and then start like, okay, I could get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. I got to purge. Purge. Yes. And the only way to purge is to get in there and look at it. You're not going to want to. It's going to take all kind of, like I said, get on those granny panties and put and sit down and go through it. It's going to hurt. You're going to be crying some ugly tears, but that's okay, because tears are not bad, and you want to get through whatever is holding you down, because you want to feel light, you want to feel free, and you want to enjoy this life that we have, because tomorrow is not promised. That's right. So leave those bags behind. That's right. You got to address it, because you're going to continue to get more.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. I love this conversation. I could go on and on because I care about people. And I care about it. Yeah. So I'm also in an organization, organization, Women Helping Other Women, WHOW.
Oh, okay.
The WOW Network. And it's just a group of women empowering other women, learning from each other and growing. And a few of us got together and wrote a book. So we're just getting ready to do our book. And let me tell you what's so shameless plug, but on my show. But let me tell you why I bring that up, because these are all women that have gone through something. Childhood, and I'm telling you, anywhere from molestation, domestic violence, to lack of self-confidence, to, like everybody had a story. I say that to say everybody walking this earth has something going on, has been through something.
Exactly.
And they just need to know it's okay to get it out, whether it's write a book, go talk to Lynette, go talk to the boss therapist or whoever that can help you through those things. And it's okay. It's okay. I carried a lot, and I wrote this book. I wasn't willing to share, but the moment I wrote it down, I was like, oh, I'm good. I feel good. Literally.
And that's the way of releasing.
It does. And then, so now that I go tell somebody about it, how many other women, thousands of other women going through what I went through?
Exactly.
Who am I getting ready to help when we release this book? And who are the other ladies in that book going
Mhm.
to help. And
Mhm.
so I just want the message to be, and before we get out of here, I'm going to say this. I want the message to be, it's okay. Whatever you're
Exactly.
going through, it's okay. And now, Lynette, what do you want to leave with the people?
Well, I mean, I just want to step on that too, is because remember the saying, your past does not dictate your future. And so it may seem like a simple statement, but it's just like you're saying, we've all gone through something. And
Yeah.
we all might be going through something right now, but we don't have to sit in it. We can start sharing it. Like you say, write a book, get out there speaking and helping others,
Yeah.
but don't sit in it.
Yeah.
Don't just let it pull you into a dark place. And
Right.
so I like what you're doing, and that, there's so many people, you'll be surprised. You're not the only one. I guess that's the only thing I want to say. You're not the only one.
Love it. Love it. Once again, I show my tattoos freely because, that was a part of my past and I used to hide them whenever I started, getting my life together. But other women that I'm going to talk to have tattoos, and why are you hiding? Like, what are you making me feel like? Because I have a tattoo that defines who I am. Absolutely does
Mhm.
not define
And,
who
and,
you
and then what
are.
makes having the tattoo being a bad person?
That's my message to them. It doesn't make you a
Mhm.
bad person.
Mhm.
Maybe, I don't want to look at it. I'm like, oh, I should have did that. But my mom, dad's name, it meant something, But and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have put these on me, because my mother would never. But I did that in that moment that I was in at that time. But it's me. This is who I am. And I don't want them to feel like you're covering up. So what are you covering up? Because of the
Mhm.
tattoos, right? Just
Mhm.
because you have a
Mhm.
tattoo, you're not a bad person, and you can really help somebody. I could go on my tangent forever, Lynette. I thank you for being here. I
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
mean, but people are covering themselves right out in visibility, because sometimes we're just wearing a mask and we're being someone that we are truly not. And so you're covering yourself up. You might have a physical tattoo, but the mask that we have been having to wear
Ooh,
because of so many reasons, we're covering ourselves up right in front of everybody. They don't even see the mask that we're wearing.
you make chills go through me when you say that. We might have to do a part two.
Mm.
We might have to do a part two. So, Lynette, thank you for making my day today. And I
No,
can't
thank
wait for
you.
to get this edited and out for people. I want it out and I want people to get it. Somebody's going to watch it, and I
Mhm.
don't
Yep.
know. And I believe that something that one of us have said here today is going to affect someone and impact their
Yes.
lives for the
Yes.
greater good. I believe
Exactly.
it. I'm calling it out. It is what it is. Putting it out there. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Lynette,
Uh,
it's so good to meet you. I
Yes, the same here.
thank you. And everything that you stand for and that you're doing for women, thank you. Thank
No,
you.
thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing, and
Yeah.
especially the reach of your platform. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for calling me to it to speak as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys, we're going to get out of here for now. Please remember that you have to take care of yourself. If you're not good, you can't be good for anybody else. And remember, it's okay. So remember, respect yourself and respect others. God bless. We're done.